Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeex. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. Guys and gals, ladies and lads, welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! The historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey, and this time we're jumping into Legacy of Darkness. So no starter decks this time, and no tournament packs actually to go along with this. The next tournament pack I think is in 2 sets, I want to say. It feels like it's actually been quite a while. I legit think the last time we didn't have tournament packs, apart from the starter deck episode last week, was a Metal Raiders, which was a month ago, so time sure flies. But yeah, Legacy of Darkness up this time, and we're slowly moving towards like actually having archetypes. Next time we're gonna have Pharaonic Guardian with Gravekeepers, but that's for next time. And this time we sort of have a triple theming in the set, so let's take a look and see what the set actually contains. And there's actually a lot, and I mean a lot of good cards, so even stuff that is very playable. I literally just won't read everything because this would be way too long, and I'm trying to cut these shorter and leave the explanation of the cards more to our deck breakdowns, since I've noticed we have a lot of repetition when explaining cards, so hopefully you don't mind that, but I'm already not really helping. Yatagarasu, a very notorious spirit monster. So spirits are a big theme in Legacy of Darkness as well. Yatagarasu, one of the first hits on the very first ban list Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever had, I think in late 2004 or early 2005. Dark Ruler Hades is a very good tribute summon. Dark Pulsar Terrible is a good fusion, but we unfortunately cannot summon him. And then there's just whatever. Opticlops is a decent beater. And Freed, another decent tribute monster. Oh, and when I was talking about the triple theme, that is sort of like we have a lot of stuff for dragons, a lot of stuff for warriors, and a lot of stuff for fiends. And I feel like both of us will probably end up playing sort of like a toolboxy kind of deck, or even like a tribal archetypal deck of sorts in this episode. I feel I would assume it's gonna be warriors. As you'll see, there are some very good cards, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna read every card. Throwstone Unit is even a good card, but I'm just gonna read the best of the best. Marauding Captain is a normal summonable monster that allows you to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand when it's normal, so just very good swarming. Also, your opponent cannot target other warriors for attacks except Marauding Captain, and if you have 2 of them, you actually just lock your opponent out of swings completely. Ryu Senshi is also a very good fusion, but once again, we cannot summon him. Digrapher, one of the better beaters. Exiled Force, you can distribute the card and target 1 monster in the field, destroy the target. It doesn't have to be face up either, so a very powerful way of removing whatever monster your opponent has. This, along with Marauding Captain, can hit the field very easily. Then you have a lot of warrior support, the most important of which is reinforcement of the army. You can add 1 level 4 lower warrior monster from a deck to your hand. Very simple, very powerful. Consistent boosting. Ready for Intercepting will actually be interesting because of, I think, the very last card that we will go over in this set. Then we get more to the dragons of the set, Dragon Dwelling, the Cave, as well as the earlier aforementioned Throwstone Unit are the 2k walls of the set, so those will probably show up because of that. The dragon stuff is pretty underwhelming. The one thing that is very notable here is Wingbeat of Giant Dragon and Stamping Destruction. Wingbeat makes you return a level 5 or higher dragon type monster to the hand, and it makes it then destroys all back row on the field. And Stamping Destruction allows you to target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. And if you do, deal 500 burn to your opponent or the controller, but it will most likely be your opponent. And what this is important, these are actually like the only ways of realistically getting rid of back row in this set. So that's something to keep in mind. Super Rejuvenation also debuts here. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that with Dragon Rulers. Obviously, not really a card that sees any play without Dragon Rulers. Then Fiber Jar. A banned card for a reason. On flip, it just shuffle. Both players shuffles all cards from their hand, field, and graveyard in their deck, and then draw 5. So basically, apart from life, it just completely restarts the game state. And fun fact, it even shuffles itself if it gets attacked, even if it would be destroyed in the combat, because it triggers in the graveyard. So we shook, this is actually pretty notable, we actually shook that we would agree to only play 1 Fiber Jar each, and there's a card a bit later that we decided, gentlemen, that we won't play at all, because that would just make these games miserable. So, but 1 Fiber Jar might do some interesting swings here, which is going to be pretty cool. Arnet Parshath, one of the best OG tribute summons as well, 1900 attack only, but it inflicts piercing damage, and if it inflicts battle damage, you get to draw. Twin Head Behemoth is interesting. It's been notorious for having a soft once per duel effect, but now just during the end phase, if it's in the graveyard, because if it's destroyed on the field, you can special summon it back, but it becomes 1,000,000. So actually a few playable special summons, or not playable, actually good special summons. Assure Priest can attack all your opponent's monsters once each. Also one of the better spirit monsters, then just a lot of like different spirit and warrior support. Smoke Grenade of Deep we can't really take, we can't really abuse in this set. Creature Swap, an incredibly good card. We basically just swap monsters, and neither of those monsters can then change their battle positions for the rest of the turn. More equips and stuff. Royal Oppression, so either a player can pay 8... I can't talk, sorry. Either player can pay 800 lives to negate the special summon of a monster, and an effect that special summons a monster. So basically the only thing this is probably going to be relevant for is Marauding Captain. But for that, it's very powerful. But on the trap hole also, we get a upgrade over a regular trap hole, although this is 1500 or more attack, but then it vanishes. Trap hole is 1000, but it only destroys. And then drop off to discard cards from your opponent. And then the card that we shook that we wouldn't play is last turn. It's just so complex, so complicated, and it would not make the games fun. So we just decided we're not going to play it at all. And finally, what I was alluding to earlier with the trap ready to intercept, it's Injection Fairy Lily, which is a spellcaster, interestingly enough, not a fairy, which is kind of weird. So when it attacks or is attacked during damage calculation, you can pay 2,000 once per battle, and this card gets bumped up to a 3,400 beta, which is insane. Obviously, the LP cost is quite steep, but you cannot attack into this. This can beat over everything. Like, we are both going to be playing 3 Injection Fairy Lily, for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This felt kind of weird, but I do think this is like a better way to do this, like sort of have a briefer breakdown, have like the core cards, and then talk more about like core themes in the set, and then what we're playing in the deck breakdowns. Then we can explain the cards more in detail there. But all of that being said, let's jump into Dueling Book and see what we can come up with for the set. So I will see you all there.
So, yet again, we're here. We've returned. This time we're doing Legacy of Darkness, I think. Yeah, Legacy of Darkness. Legacy of Darkness is a bit odd because it feels like it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh set in a weird way. Like, I know that might sound weird, but like it doesn't have archetypes. It has like tribals, something like that of MTG, where you have a warrior tribe, a fiend tribe, and dragon tribe all fighting together, with the warrior tribe also having spellcasters in it. Which this is sort of a warrior tribal with some fairy and some dragons and some fiends in specifically to deal with like threats that I need to deal with. Now, when I think about it, this is basically just dual terminal compressed into one single set, huh? The entire dual terminal storyline, but it's just like 100 card set. But yeah, so first off, we have Parshot. I was originally thinking that Parshot might be valuable if we end up playing a lot of like low defense monsters, or if we just end up playing a lot of low attack monsters. So going into Parshot would eventually be worth it. I don't know if it would actually ever see play in this, but I figured if you can resolve Parshot's effect once or twice, it's completely worth it. But I think I may just side out of that game one if I decide that it's not worth running. Okay. Then we have Dark Ruler Hades. Hades is odd because like it's not just the effect that I'm running it for, but the effect itself also negates some stuff that are problematic for this format, such as Fiber Jar. Like if we were playing with 3 Fiber Jars, Dark Ruler Hades would be crazy good. Now the 2.4 Fitty is a really good amount of power. Like that's a solid swing, but there's a problem in this set that we're going to talk about in a bit. But yeah, Dark Ruler Hades 450. It's not really worth running for just as a beater. Then we have Exiled Force. Now here is one of the reasons why stuff like Dark Ruler Hades is just not worth running. Exiled Force has the effect of you can tribute this card and destroy one monster on the field. You can even destroy face down cards. It's really good. It's really powerful, especially because it's a level 4 monster, so you can summon with Marauding Captain. It's also a warrior, which means you can search it for reinforcement of the army, and you can use the warrior returning alive to recycle it, and so on and so forth. It's really powerful. Then we have Fiber Jar. Fiber Jar is one of the only jar that's still banned, I think, because they even unbanned Cyber Jar, right? So Fiber Jar has Cyber Jar is at 1 in the TCG, 4 in the OCG. So Fiber Jar has the effect of resetting the game state. Both players shuffle their hands, fields, graveyards into their deck, and they draw 5 cards. It's a really weird card, and it can make the games go on really long. That's why we're only playing 1. I would play 3 of this card in a heartbeat. Like, no doubt, if I felt like, oh, that's absolutely worth it here. But the reason why I'm playing only 1 is because we made a gentleman's agreement to only play 1. And specifically, we're also avoiding the other problematic card in the set, which is Last Turn. Last Turn has the effect of literally ending the game in 1 turn. You both summon if you have 1,000 or less life points, you can send 1 monster on your side of the field and send all other cards on the field and they're in their respective owners' hands at their respective graveyards. After that, your opponent selects a special summons 1 monster from their deck in face-up attack position and attacks your selected monster. Any battle damage from this battle is treated as 0. Player whose monster remains alone on the field at the end of the battle phase, or at the end phase of this turn, wins the duel. Any other case results in a draw. So this card is stupid. It's very not fun. It can end it can end the game instantly, and it'll just be a nightmare to rule around. But yeah. So the player whose monster remains alone on the field at the end phase of this turn wins. Any other case results in a draw. Wait, you mean if I somehow summon another monster onto the field? I don't know how last turn works exactly, I'll be honest. Like, I don't know if alone in this card refers to it being the only card on the field, or if it refers to it being the only card on that side of the field, or so on and so forth. That's stupid wording. But yeah, we're playing only 1 Fiber Jar specifically to avoid a situation where the game will just like loop endlessly and we'll never make progress. We even have cards like Emergency Provisions in here and Royal Oppression, so we could easily use Fiber Jar to constantly restart the game state and while slowly gaining more life. And then eventually the game will just boil down to Injection Fairy Lily beatdown, which it already probably will. Then I have one Freed. I think I played way too. I'm playing way too many tribute monsters here, like Freed, Hades, and Parsha. I don't think any of these cards are strong enough to justify playing. Like, but I'm probably flipping here. The big reason why I'm playing Freed here is because it makes it so that I can use creature swap on Freed and it should negate it. I'm fairly certain creature swap targets. I can double check that. Oh wait, it's each player chooses. No, it's not. It's a player-based action, not a card-based action. Creature swap, Freed, YGO. Creature swap, card rulings. Or do they mention Freed? The opponent cannot chain Fairy's Handmere. Lord of D does not prevent dragon type monsters from being selected, and Freed will not negate the effect of creature swap. Okay. Never mind that. This is completely worthless. I should have probably researched that beforehand. But okay, this is the deck I'm playing with, and that's what I'm sticking with. So Freed has the effect of negating any spell card that targets it, and during your draw phase, you can search your deck for a level 4 or lower warrior monster and add it to your hand. Now that effect is the big reason why I'm actually playing this. Because if this card resolves and it stays on the field, I will have access to Exiled Force. And that means this card has to be dealt with almost immediate. But yeah, this card could be good. I'm hoping to see if it actually resolves in the game. And if it does, I'm hoping that it sees actual use rather than just dying on the next turn to Injection Fairy Lily. Now, Injection Fairy Lily is a card that is stronger than Blue Eyes White Dragon. And as you might remember, Blue Eyes White Dragon is a fairly powerful card with 3000 attack, right? Well, Injection Fairy Lily has 3.4 thousand attack. That's a lot of attack. Like, it doesn't really make sense for them to have printed this card, let's be honest. But yeah, this card is gonna be the main form of beatdown in this. And the worst part is you don't really have any ways of searching for it, so you're just gonna be relying on top deck Injection Fairy Lilies, while like being able to search for outs to Injection Fairy Lily. But it feels really bad that you have to just sack to get Injection Fairy Lily into your hand. But yeah, Injection Fairy Lily Beatdown is the name of the game, and it will be either really fast or extremely slow. And I can't really see any kind of in between. I think it could be really slow, which is why I have Emergency Provisions in here and Fiber Jar, because I feel like, and Royal Oppression, and I don't think these are gonna hit anything. But if Weebfox happens to be playing any kind of tribute monsters for some reason, this is gonna be useful. And same with Spear Dragons. But yeah, then we have Marauding Captain. Marauding Captain is a part of a lock in this, where when you summon 2 Marauding Captains on the field, your opponent cannot target any monster you control or attacks. Sorry, any warrior monsters you control for attacks. Yeah. So if I summon 2 Marauding Captains on my side of the field, my opponent cannot target either of my Marauding Captains on my side of the field. And they have to target a Marauding Captain if they're going to target a warrior monster, which means that they're completely locked out of attack. And that's a synergy that should happen if I happen to get these two of these out and then I get a Freed out or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure that out. But yeah, Marauding Captain lets you swarm the field a bit. It lets you summon Exile Force, which makes it so that when you summon Marauding Captain, you'll always get an Exile Force off, which leads you their body on the field, which is obviously worth it because the fact that having a body on the field means that your opponent can't just freely run over stuff. Because, for example, if they were using Injection Fairy Lily, they would have to pay 2,000 life points to run over Marauding Captain, which means that you're technically winning out because you're only losing 2.2k life for their 2k life. And that as a trade is not as worth it as it might seem. Because I'd imagine that we're going to run into a situation where life points are actually important, which is why Emergency Provisions with Fiber Jar seems like it should be good. So, yep. Then Spear Dragon. Spear Dragon is here specifically so I can try to swing over stuff like Parsha, Injection Fairy Lily with something that like won't get me completely destroyed, and that's about it. It's just a one-off, and that's all there is to it. Then we have 2k walls, two 2k walls, and one of them has an actual effect. Throwstone unit. Tribute 1 warrior monster on your side of the field to destroy 1 face-up monster on the field whose defense is equal to or less than the attack of Throwstone unit. So this means that you'll be able to basically destroy nothing. You can destroy Marauding Captain, you can destroy Exiled Force, you can destroy Spear Dragon, and maybe Parshot if you're lucky. But yeah, this is a really clunky card to use, mostly because of the fact that it only has non-headed attack, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Then there's the Dragon Dwelling in the Cave, which is just a 2k wall, 1.3k attack. This is the objectively better 2k wall, but this is a 2k wall that is a warrior, so it's searchable with this card, but we're talking about that in a second. Dragon Dwelling in the Cave, I don't think that does anything. Like, outside of just being a 2k wall to force your opponent into paying life points with Injection Fairy Lily, or they lose 1.6k life points instead of 2k. So yeah. And then there's Array of Revealing Light, which is kind of like the Vengeful Bog Spirit that I played the other day, or the other week, I mean. And Vengeful Bog Spirit is the card that said when a card is normal or flip summoned, they cannot attack on the same turn. Now, Array of Revealing Light has the effect of you declare a monster type, and that type of monster cannot attack on the same turn that it's normal, flip, or special summon. Creature Swap. I think Creature Swap is going to be a really key card in this set, where it allows us to get rid of cards effectively. Like, let's say turn 1 you play Injection Fairy Lily and your opponent sets a card face down, or just summons like a, I don't know, Marauding Captain in attack position or whatever, some other card. Then they play Creature Swap. They can give you the weaker card they summoned and take your Injection Fairy Lily, which effectively works as removal for Injection Fairy Lily, which is really important because, as you can probably see, there isn't much removal for Injection Fairy Lily outside of just running into it and hoping your opponent doesn't pay the 2k. So yeah, Creature Swap is really good, and it's going to be really key to actually winning the game, I think. Then we have Emergency Provisions. Emergency Provisions is a card that lets you send any number of other spell or trap cards you control to the graveyard and gain 1000 life points for each card that is sent to the graveyard with this effect. Now, this can lead to your life total swinging from like 2k to 5k fairly easily if you're actually like setting up for it. Especially if you have something like Fiber Jar. Like if your opponent swings on a Fiber Jar and you're about to flip a Fiber Jar face up, you just activate this to send all your spell traps to the graveyard and gain as much life points as 1000 times the number of cards in the grave. And then you just shuffle everything back into the deck anyway, so it's really worth it. Then we have Heart of Clear Water. I was thinking of putting some kind of equip card in here. I feel like maybe I should have put, I think it's Muramasa Masamune, Fusion Blade. Fusion Sword? This thing. I was thinking of putting this in, but... Wait, was it this? Wait, I'm gonna double check, because I might be flipping. Fusion Sword. Yeah, it is for Fusion Sword Muramasa Blade. But I figured, but Injection Fairy Lily is still gonna be able to swing over anything that I have it on, which makes it abjectly worse, or objectively worse, than just not running an attack boosting one and instead running one that will make my monsters indestructible. And that's kind of the idea with this, where Injection Fairy Lily can't run over a Throwstone unit with Heart of Clear Water. And that's kind of it, because there's no spell trap removal at all in this set, other than like Fiber Jar. I guess if you really wanted to, you could equip Throwstone unit with a Fusion Sword Murasame, and then they would destroy Heart of Clear Water. That would be cool. That would be funny. But yeah. And then there's Reinforcement of the Army. Reinforcement of the Army is a legendarily good card, I'd say. It lets you search your deck for one level 4 or lower warrior monster, which is really important for a lot of decks. It effectively becomes a second copy of any warrior monster in your deck that you might want. And that's why it's, as you can see, limited to 1. Like, there's a lot of cards that we have seen so far that have been banned, like outright banned, but I don't think there has been a single card that we've played with that's been limited to 1 yet. And that's because the fact that most of those cards that were limited at a time, or maybe even banned at a time, have either been errataed or just like outright aren't worth playing anymore. But Reinforcement of the Army is just an extra copy of any warrior monster that's level 4 or lower in your deck. And that makes this card incredibly powerful for stuff like New Space Connector. Like, you can have 4 it's Neo Space Connect. Wait, what? Fuck it. Is it? Oh, it's Neo Space. Okay. But yeah, Neo Space Connector. You can effectively have 4 copies of Neo Space Connector in your deck. There's also other stuff like, Infernobos can like it. Invulnerable Knights, they can easily use it. They can use it to search for basically any of their extenders or starters, like their new starters that are gonna come out, Ricardetto and Turpin, for example, or what's this called again? Ozier, this guy. You can easily search for these cards, and on top of that, they also have their own search cards. And overall, Reinforcement of the Army is one of the most commonly played cards in the game, I'd say, and that's mostly because of the fact that when you put card in, put effect in, and put warrior in here, you get like a million of these. And you put literally any other type, and you get a lot less. As you can see, there's 35 instances or 35 pages of warriors, and there's only, well, there's only 18 of dragons. That's probably the closest one to. Spellcasters might be pretty close too. Yeah, spellcasters are the second closest. Yeah, there's only 27 pages of spellcasters, but there's 35 of warriors. So you can probably tell why Reinforcement of the Army might be played a lot, because there are a lot of decks that just play warriors, right? Then there's A Forces. A Forces is a weird card. It lets all of your all of your warrior monsters gain 200 attack for each warrior or spellcaster monster. Oh wait, I thought that was 200 for warriors and spellcasters for each warrior and spellcaster. Never mind. I'm stupid, but that's good. That's a good card. It allows you to set up boards that are harder to break with just like summoning two marauding captains and swinging into stuff. Because you can have like marauding captain, you can summon injection fairy lily, and then your opponent has to actually like decide what they're gonna do then. Not reinforcement, the warrior returning life. Now this card is not as good as Reinforcement of the Army, but it lets you basically just return one warrior monster to your hand from your graveyard, and that's really good for stuff like Exile Force, because this effectively means if it's in your hand at the same time as Exile Force and Marauding Captain, you can reuse your Exile Force instantly. Then Bottomless Trap Hole. This is another one of those cards that's been on the on the limited list for the longest time, and it's like fairly recently, like within the last 8 years, which is not recent, but okay, bear with me, okay. Within the last 8 years, it's come off from the limited list. It used to be at like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and it just kept like fluctuating because it was played so often. So what it says is, when your opponent summons a 1,500 or more attack monster, 1,500 or more attack monster, you can destroy the monster with 1,500 or more attack, and then you banish it if you do. That's a really good card. That's really useful for stuff like, let's say your opponent summons Hades, you just negate it and destroy it and then banish it. There's a lot of cards in the game that summon multiple monsters at the same time, which means that this card will banish every single monster with 1,500 or more attack, destroy and banish specifically. It doesn't just outright banish. I think they recently made a retrain of Bottomless Trap Hole, and that card is better than Bottomless Trap Hole, surprisingly enough. But then we have another card that's banned. It's Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression is a disgusting card that should absolutely never have been printed. Nowadays, this card would never see the light of day. Either player can pay 800 life points to negate special summons of a monster or an effect that special summons a monster and destroy those cards. Oh, wait. Oh, I was thinking you could negate the effect of summoning, or negate the summon of Exile Force, but you negate the effect of Marauding Captain or destroy Marauding Captain, not Exile Force if you do that. Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, Royal Oppression is a oppressive card, surprisingly. And then, like I was saying earlier, this is basically a tribal set. So here we have the actual remnants of the tribal stuff. Here's a Dragon Manipulator, which is meant to be played against dragons. So let's say you're playing a limited format, you play Dragon Manipulator in your side deck. When your opponent's playing dragons, you side deck into Dragon Manipulators and you take control of the dragons. That's cool. Then I have Mysterious Guard. I mostly put this in because I was thinking, oh, this card can be really good for stalling the game now. You target one face-up monster on the field, and if you control a face-up warrior monster, you can target one additional face-up monster on the field. Place the first target on the top of the deck, and then return the additional target, if any, to the hand if you still control a face-up warrior monster. This can like prolong the game in a way where it's undesirable for the opponent, where you can just like keep setting face cards on the top of their deck, And I think that'll be really powerful. You can also do it to yourself. You can also bounce your own stuff by doing that. And that's fairly good. Like, you can put a card on your opponent's side of the field to the top of their deck, and if you control a warrior monster, you can bounce this card to your hand. And that might be good. That might be good. Then there's Shadow Tamer. Now this is another card that's a remnant of the tribal mindset in the set, where you can use this thing to take control of fiends such as Hades, which is really good with like these two. If Weebfox happens to be playing something like Dark Ruler Hades beatdown, I can just use Shadow Tamer to yoink Hades and use it for at least a turn. And then I have one copy of Emergency Provisions and one copy of A-Forces. I should probably maybe be even playing both of these in the main deck and taking out like Freed and Parsha. But I feel like Emergency Provisions might be a bricky card. A Faint Plant. This is so that I'm pretty sure if I play this, it'll serve as a Waboku in a way. Waboku for like Thorstone Unit or the Dragon Dwell in the Cave. So if I feel like I need more defensive actions, I'll just side out from Bottomless Trap Holes and maybe again Freed or Parshot into this. And then there's another Bottomless Trap Hole. This is if Weebfox happens to be again playing Dark Ruler Hades. Like if he's playing 3 copies of Hades and some other form of beatdown with fiends, I'll be able, or dragons even, I'll be able to use Bottomless Trap Hole to deal with those. And there's a 3rd copy of Royal Oppression if he happens to be playing something that is very special summon reliant, which I don't think is possible in this set, but we'll see if he managed to cook something up that I didn't pay attention to. By that about does it. This was a very, very odd set to build around because it's a very different set from anything else that's come so far. And on top of having a clear like power card in here that kind of warps the whole game around it, I don't know how these games are going to go at all. But we'll see. So good luck.
Guys and gals, welcome back. And here's what we have come up with for today's episode. So once again, as always, I will just go over each card briefly and sort of explain what I expect to do with the deck. So what we have here is just a pretty simple, just warrior good stuff with some other stuff sprinkled in here. So starting off, our premier tribute summon will be Dark Ruler Hades. 2 copies. It's just a simple 24/50 beater that can be summoned with 1 tribute. And it can be special summoned from the graveyard, which doesn't matter in the set at all. And it negates the effects of monster destroyed by battle with fiend monsters you control. So it's basically here just because it's a 1 tribute summon that is big. But it also, this can matter if Jeex is playing something that actually has graveyard effects, like, for example, Twin-Headed Behemoth. It won't activate because Dark Ruler Hades himself is a fiend, but mostly it's here just because it's the biggest thing available to us that we can get easily. Another big thing available to us pretty easily is Injection Fairy Lily at 3 copies. So if this card attacks or it's attacked during damage calculation in either place, then you can pay 2,000 life points to have this card gain 3,000 attack during that damage calculation only. So just basically you can't swing over this thing and this thing can swing over everything. It is probably going to be incredible. And for that, I will already cover creature swap. So the reason we're running 2 creature swap, we have the 3rd one in the side in case we want to go more for it. It's just because Injection Fairy Lily is very, very powerful, and if we can swap something, like we can give Jeex maybe a Digrapher or even a Twin-Headed Behemoth after it's been summoned to be smaller, or most things, if we can just give them the Jeex in exchange for his Injection Fairy Lily, and we then get to keep it and beat over whatever we gave to him with that. That's going to be really powerful. And it can also be used to break the Marauding Captain lock if he is on Warriors as well, which I expect him to be, since objectively they just seem to be the best thing here. We're running 1 Twin-Headed Behemoth because it has a once per duel effect during the end phase if discarded in the grave because it was destroyed on the field, and sent to this turn you can special summon this, but its stats become 1,000 respectively in attack and defense. And most of this thing is here. It's a decent beater at 1,500, But the special summon triggering during the end phase is actually pretty nice because if we have a Hades in hand, we can then use this to almost guarantee if we get a tribute summon off next turn, because we can special summon this during Jeex's end phase, and then during our turn we can distribute it for Hades. We're playing one Fiber Jar. This is just here to reset the game state if we feel like we're down, if Jeex has a lot of stuff on the board. We can just use this to reset. We can use this to refuel our hand if we're out of cards. It does a lot, and there's a reason why it's banned. We agreed to only play one copy at most each, so that's why we're only running that one. And then for the warriors, we're running 3 Marauding Captain. This when on normal summon you can special summon a level 4 or level 5 monster from your hand. Funny enough, I initially thought this was only for warriors, but this actually allows us to also summon Injection Fairy Lily, which is pretty cool. And then your opponent cannot target warrior monster for attacks except this one, not Marauding Captain, except this one, which means you have 2 of these on the field. Your opponent cannot attack, which is pretty cool. Exile 4 is going to be our premier target to special summon a Marauding Captain. So you can tribute this card and then target one monster in the field and destroy the target. And it doesn't matter if it's face up or face down. This can be used to get rid of Marauding Captain locks. This can be used to get rid of his best monsters. This can be used to get rid of walls, even Fiber Jar when it's set. It's just a very flexible and good card. And then we just to have more warriors for some of our other stuff. We have 3 Warrior Die Greffer. It's a 1700 beater. There was a Fiend Vanilla that was 1800, but for our deck's sake, being a warrior is actually a huge buff, which is why we are running 3. And then finally 3 Throwstone unit to end off our monster lineup. So tribute 1 warrior type monster on your side of the field to destroy 1 face-up monster on the field whose defense is equal or less than the attack of Throwstone unit. So mostly this here because it's a warrior that has 2k defense, but it can be used to pop Marauding Captain. So that could come up as well. We already went over creature swap, and reinforcement of the army at 3 copies. Obviously, this is just a 3 extra of Exiled Force or Marauding Captain, depending on whatever way might need. A warrior turning alive is here to recur our Exiled Forces and Marauding Captains from the grave. So this most likely will come up with Exiled Force to actually have repeated removal. And then we have 3 DA Forces and 3 Fusions of Murasame Blade, because we are playing a large amount of warriors, and A Forces is just a global buff to all of our warrior for each of our other warriors and spellcasters, so even Injection Fairy Lily contributes to that. And Fusion of Murasame Blade is just a really easy 800 boost, and this card cannot be destroyed by card effects when it's equipped to a monster, which probably won't really matter since the only real spell trap removal that we have is tied to dragons. Which I guess before the traps, I'll cover real quickly a little bit about our side. So we're playing 3 off Dragon Dwelling in the Cave inside. This is just a 2k wall, and along with Twin-Headed Behemoth, that gives us 4 dragons for these 2 copies of Stampede Destruction. So if he has some back row that we really need to get rid of, then this is our way of doing that. But yeah, we have 3 ready for intercepting, and the sole reason for this is Injection Fairy Lily, because beating over this thing is impossible as long as Jeex has life points to pay for it. So our way of dealing with it is ready for intercepting, setting it into defense, and then we can just beat over it with most of our stuff, since it's 1500, which is actually defense, decent defense still, but it's still like much more manageable than 3400 attacks. So this is here. You can also obviously stop, because he pays the 2k, and then we can flip it face down to stop the attack. So then we're running 3 Bottomless Trap Hole. It just any of his big stuff that he tries to summon, we can just get rid of it. And only 1 Royal Oppression. We have another in the side, but the reason why I'm running this is the only thing really we want to deal with this is Marauding Captain, that he will most likely play. I don't think he's gonna play Twin-Headed Behemoth. I assume he's gonna just deem it too gimmicky, so I would actually be hindering myself more with this. So this is here just because If a moment arises, I have it set, tries to go for Marauding Captain, I don't even have my own Marauding Captain, or I just want to cut him off the tempo, I can just flip it and then pay the 800 to prevent the summon. So that's how we're only playing it at 1 copy. I do have the second one here though, in case we need it. And as for the rest of the sideboard deck for additional tribute summons, we're running 2 Freed. So Freed negates any spell effect that targets it on the field and destroys them, so you can't equip it with Murasame, sadly. Excuse me. But during your draw phase, you can, instead of drawing, you can just basically do reinforcements of the army, which is pretty damn good, but this has to be visible on the field to activate and resolve it. So if it gets popped, then that doesn't work, but there isn't much monster removal either, actually. Is there any real removal apart from Exile Forge? I don't think there is real, like, quick play, because this time I actually went through the set multiple times just to make sure I don't overlook anything obvious. But yeah, Freed is also just a warrior, so it gets the Murasame, not Murasame, like I just said. It can't be equipped like that, but the A-Force is a boost. And we also have 2 Blast with Chain, that just gives 500, and if it gets destroyed by a card effect while equipped, I can target a card in the field and destroy that target. So this is a way of dealing with any cards. It's really gimmicky, because like if we want to pop monsters, we need to like Stampede Destruction it ourselves. And my initial plan was like, okay, I have 2 Emergence Provision, which lets you send any number of spell traps you control to the grave, and gain 1,000 for each card sent this way. And my idea here was I could pop Blast with Chain with this, but yeah, it says send, which does make sense, because if this card was destroyed, that would be pretty crazy. But most of this is just here because it can pop our own Royal Oppression when we don't want it on the field anymore. Third copy of Creature Bob already went over, but then finally we have 2 Spring of Rebirth. And this is mostly here if by some odd chance he's playing Yadagarasu or even more spares, but mostly here for Yadagarasu. Yadalock won't win him the game this way, because every time a monster returns to its owner's hand, I get 500, and I'm pretty sure that Yada was 200. Yeah, it's 200 attack, which means that if his field is empty, he's just poking me with Yada. I gain 500, he pokes me for 200. It's a net 300 gain every time. So that would mean that he will have to summon something else apart from Yada. So this doesn't just auto. This prevents us auto losing to Yada Lock, which is pretty nice. We are just running the fusions as is tradition in our site, because we can't summon those, but yeah. I don't really know what to expect from the deck, I'll be honest. Like, the overall power level of the set feels lower, mostly because like we're just lacking really good like responsive removal, I feel like. It just like monster tied to stuff like Exile Force and even Fiber Jar. And then we do have Bottomless, but the targets that it hits are pretty low, so I don't know how reliable that will be, but it'll be interesting to see. I've always been fascinated about archetypes and tribals and stuff like that, and one of my main reasons why I love Yu-Gi-Oh so much is archetypes. So it'll be very exciting to sort of visit the prequel to that, and then next week jump into Gravekeepers. But for now, let's go into a Legacy of Darkness, and that has been my deck. I will see you all in the dueling zone for the matches. See you there. Alrighty, and we are back with yet another episode, and no tournament pack this time, no starter decks this time, just us and the set of Legacy of Darkness. So, how are you feeling today, Jeex? Are you ready to continue your win streak?
I don't think I'm gonna win this week, I'll be honest.
Oh, wow. Why is that?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to cheat out a win with this deck, no matter what I do.
I have a hunch that we did some bantering before we started recording, but I have a hunch that our decks are gonna be somewhat similar. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes. But Yeah, ladies and lads, let's get right into it. So, good luck, Jeex.
Good luck. Oh no!
I predicted the rock throwing, but now
No!
here's the interesting thing. I actually don't know if I want to go first.
I mean, you always want to go first so you can set your 2K wall. Wow.
You know what? I'm actually gonna like to go second.
Lamau is going second. Can you believe this guy? He's going second because the fact that he wants to attack first. Okay.
And
Can
I
you
get an
believe
extra
that?
card on top of that.
Oh, that's
Crazy.
true. That is true.
Best of luck.
I'm gonna stand draw phase, stand by me. I'm gonna activate Array of Revealing Light. I'm gonna say Warrior.
All right.
Yeah, that's okay.
So warriors have summoning sickness.
They have summoning sicknesses.
All right.
And then I set 2 cards, and I pass.
Something tells me that that might be one of those aforementioned 2K walls.
Clueless.
Okay, now this is... Sure.
I just realized Throwstone unit is just a bunch of rock throwers.
Most relatable Yu-Gi-Oh card. Yeah, what we're gonna do is draw a standby main, and we will just normal summon this warrior digrapher, because, you know, I want him represented on the field since the field spell has him there as well. Obviously can't attack due to the field spell, so we'll just skip over the battle phase, and we will just set a couple in the back row, and we'll just toss it back.
Okay. I draw. Stand by me. I'm gonna activate emergency provisions.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send the Array of Revealing Light to the graveyard.
Yeah. And the emergency provisions.
Can you do that? I don't think you can do that.
Wait, I swear. Okay. Because I swear to God, every time, because for whatever reason, Jaden was playing it on. Now it happened on the anime. I swear, every time he sent emergency provisions, and
I mean, it would make sense, but at the same time, I feel like because it's a cost, right?
Yeah, because like, it's a cost to activate this effect. You cannot activate. No, not that. Because like, sending phone apps is a cost. You can activate over. You can change. Okay, how is nobody talking about this? I swear. Wait. Any number of other. Oh, okay. We probably don't have to worry about it then, because it literally says other. But I swear, if you go back and watch some of like the old GX episode, the early GX episode, I swear Jaden always sends whatever he sends and the emergency provisions.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah. But I'm gonna flip some 5 jar.
And bro, the one-off already.
Here we go.
Yep, so everything goes back to the deck. I did look at the rulings because I knew obviously it's gonna come up earlier. The fiber jar rulings that apparently it always gets shuffled back even when it's destroyed by battle.
No.
So we could have some really long games here.
That's really bad. I'm gonna activate reinforcement of the army. I'm gonna activate another reinforcement of the army. I'm gonna add 2 level 4s to my hand, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I mean, it's not okay, but
I'm gonna add to my hand Exile Force. And I'm gonna add to my hand Marauding Capital. I don't know why I would add these cards, but yeah. And then I'm gonna normal summon Injection Fairy Lily. And
Jesus fucking Christ.
3.4k.
All right. Well, that is certainly a turn.
And then I activate Array of Revealing Light and I declare Warrior.
Fucking Christ.
Oh, gaming!
Okay, that would be really funny though.
Oh no, what's going on?
Huh.
Are you gonna set fiber jar? into my exiled force. Hmm.
I'll start off by firing off my own Rhoda.
Okay, time to add exiled force.
And I will. How did you know that I will add Exile Force to my hand?
I don't know. I've maybe seen this play somewhere.
Then. This is so stupid. Actually, wait. It's not, right? Is it? It's kinda is.
Are you gonna trade 2k life points for my injection fairy lily?
Wait.
Like,
Wait,
are you
hold on.
planning to summon?
Am I cooking? Wait, I might be actually cooking here. Wait, holy shit. Does this work?
What's up?
If I do that, then it's... Wait. Oh, no. It's... Fuck. I mean, do I still go for it? I think I still go for it. Fuck it. It's too cool to do. Okay. So, this might end up being really fucking dumb. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's way too fucking cool not to do. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we will normal summon this marauding captain.
Yeah.
You declared warrior, so obviously he can't attack this turn. And we will, with the effect, special summon this injection fairy lily.
That's not a warrior.
It is not.
Oh, it's all level 4. Oh god, it's not a warrior thing.
Yeah, marauding captain is pretty good. Then what we will do, we will creature swap your injection fairy lily with my marauding captain.
Holy fuck. Yeah, there we go. See, I told you this is the best removal tool in the format.
And now the thing is here.
You're gonna lose for this, by the way. If you use it twice.
Because like, I would be left with 600, which is really low. What we will do is we will definitely attack this one, and we will pay 2k.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, there's no way. Yeah, I'll just swing for 400.
Okay.
I will not pay. It would have been really funny, but yeah, I don't think I will. Then we'll set up back row and we will pass it back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna. That's a problem. It's become a problem. I'm gonna. There's someone marauding captain. I'm gonna,
yes.
Or normal summon special. Normal summon marauding captain. Then I'm gonna special summon exiled force, and then I'm gonna tribute exiled force to kill my own injection fairy lily.
Yep, to the grave.
Yeah, and then I will pass.
All right, we will
cannot attack.
Yeah, I'll be real. Like the field spell there really saved my ass, cause you know.
Yep.
Now this is interesting.
Now you summon exile force, you sack it for marauding captain, then you swing for 3.4k.
And die miserably.
No, you would never die in that position. What do you mean?
I will. Normal exile force, use the effect to kill off the marauding captain, and I will poke for 400. Not gonna pay the thingy.
Okay.
Then we will. Just pass the turn.
Okay. Start a turn.
So I don't know any of the cards in your hand, correct?
I'm gonna set one card, I'm gonna use creature swap.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yep, I think that's fine.
Okay. Then I'm gonna.
So 1 card in hand.
Thinking.
Take your time.
This should be fine. Yeah. Not directly, but attack the thing you have face down. I bet 200 life points.
Yep, and that's gone.
It's gone, and then it's your turn.
Okay. Ooh, that would have been nice.
Now, as long as you didn't top deck another injection fairy lily, I should be fine.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You actually wait. Yeah, it's 2K. You obviously can't pay for it.
Nope.
Wait. You know what? Do I still do it? It's kind of dumb, but kind of not. Okay, what does it achieve, honestly? No, fuck it. We're going for it. Alright, so we'll start off by normal summoning twin-headed behemoth.
Okay.
It's not a dragon.
That is a dragon.
Sorry, it is not a warrior. My bad.
Yeah.
And I would like to swing into this.
Yeah, that's fine.
And there we go. Main 2. I set and yeah, with that I'll pass.
I go standby main and I set pass.
Okay.
Pain.
So I'm really afraid of what your back row is, but I think we go for it. I will attempt to use the warrior returning alive. You didn't want to sell me the set. I gotcha. That was a good game 1. That was a good game 1, though.
I don't know about that.
I think it was fun. Like, I think it was pretty back and forth. But that, like, my creature swap on the position where I got 2 fairy lilies when you got the field spell, like, really saved my ass there. It was a big Hail Mary. But yeah, let's go sighting in then game 2. Yep. And a rare situation where I'm actually pretty happy with my sighting. In hindsight, by the way, like my going second definitely was not right, but
I'll play reinforcement of the army, and I'll add to my hand a marauding captain. And,
seems pretty good.
Then I'm just gonna pass.
Oh, okay. There's my main. I'm gonna. Am I? Am I actually? This makes no sense. Does it make sense?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. My hand is bad.
I'm gonna normal summon marauding captain.
Yep.
I'm gonna special summon marauding captain.
Yep. Seems pretty good.
I'll pass.
Okay, you don't want to swing?
Oh wait, I can swing. Oh yeah, if you don't mind, I'll swing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
1.2k, 1.2k. Maybe I should attack. Put this in attack as well to do 1.2k. I completely forgot we don't have some.
Yeah, you get so used to that.
I was just like, damn, this is real video games now for a second there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good, all good. The rest of my main, yeah, we will normal summon the Throwstone unit.
Oh shit! And you're gonna sack Throwstone unit to get rid of a marauding captain. Oh my god!
We will
You're insane.
creature swap.
Oh, you're doing something even sillier here. Okay. Yeah.
And it's like it makes does it make we will equip our marauding captain with this fusion sword Murasame to make it 2k.
Okay, it's 2k beater now. Yeah.
Yep. And then we will go battle phase, and obviously we have to hit into this, so we'll hit into this for 800.
Okay, I take the 100.
Here we go, main 2, and
I do think this was kind of a grief play by you, by the way.
It might as well be, because like obviously you have any warrior, you can just get rid of this marauding captain, but
Tribute one warrior type monster on your side of the field.
oh yeah, it's chosen as well.
Yeah, you can just sack itself. Yeah.
I I do have something I must check. Just a second. Okay, I just gotta do what I think works, and we will very quickly learn. Anyways, your turn.
Okay, I go standby main.
In your draw phase.
Okay.
Because I'm now assuming this is how it works. I would like to ready for intercepting the Throwstone unit to face down defense. And now my idea here is, if you change the battle position, you can change it again during the same turn, right?
Let me check.
Because that was what I was trying to see, because I went to look for like battle position change, but I couldn't find whether it's like you can do it manually once per turn or it's just once per turn.
A monster's battle position can be changed between one or two ways, manually or by card effect. During an open game, stand in the main phase, the turn player can manually change the battle position of any individual monster they control. Each monster's battle position can only be changed manually once per turn. If a monster is summoned, normal set, or declares an attack, it cannot manually change its battle position for the rest of the turn. If a monster battles due to card effect, it cannot change. It can still change battle position. Okay. You cannot change monsters to face down attack position either manually nor by card effect. Face down defense position monsters always flip that when they are changing the attack position. Cards effects that prevent. Oh my god, this doesn't make sense either. I'm pretty sure you should be able to change if you haven't. Like you can do it manually.
Cause
like that's what it says.
Yeah, because like
as long as it hasn't
what was
been changed.
Confusing. Like what? Because I couldn't find a direct like response to it. But what I was basing it on, obviously you see Book of Moon played a lot, and Wait,
Oh,
even
but
when
Book of
I
Moon is played as a disruption when like things are happening, but you can still change it face up. And usually it's also when you attack with something and then it's changed face down.
yeah, I know,
Even if the
but
attack is negated, it still can't change the battle position.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
that is
because
about.
like sometimes you see like booking during the main phase and then main phase 2, even if they like obviously if book works the same way as this, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming, then
Oh, but
they could then flip it back up, but I've never seen it happen, which is what I was basing this on. But like I said, I'm not sure how it actually works.
let me just Google this a bit longer.
Yeah, sure. We are trying to figure stuff out here. Hey, these are the moments why it's called the
You
learning
can
journey.
change the battle position of a monster manually, but this is something else entirely. I don't know what that is. Let me check Reddit. But basically, changing the monster's battle position with an effect has no influence over whether you can still manually change a monster's battle position that turn. You are able to change a monster's battle position manually once per turn if it was not normal summoned, or if it was not summoned set that turn, or if it did not declare an attack this turn. Using cards like Zero Gravity is not going to change anything.
All right, gotcha.
So yeah, I can still
So,
change that.
all right, then that makes nothing. But hey,
I'll just
it was worth it because we
focus on
learned something new. Yeah, I'm assuming
that was a good attempt. That was a good attempt. I'll be
I'm
honest.
assuming you're using it.
I'm gonna use creatures one.
All right.
So,
There you go.
thanks for the 2K beater. Sucker.
No problem, dude.
A warrior returning alive.
All right.
Marauding captain to hand, and then I'm gonna normal summon Marauding captain,
All right.
and special summon injection fairy lily,
Sure.
and then I'm gonna attack with the 1.2k one.
Yep. And I'm taking 300.
And then the 2k one.
Is this? Yeah.
Not lethal quite. Oh, it is lethal. It is. And then I pay 2k.
I'll do this. I had a second one, so I'll just flip the fairy lily. So.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. When are you gonna do it?
As late as I can? Question mark. I would
okay,
very much like to get rid of the 2k you have.
I activate reinforcement of the army.
Yeah.
To my hand, a modern captain, and I'll pass the turn.
Now. Oh.
Is that an injection fairy lily I hear?
Yeah, no, you got it. My starting hand was so unplayable this game. Let's go game 3.
That was an insanely fast game. What the fuck?
Yeah, these games are very fast. Yeah, let's go game 3. Yeah, and I think with that I am done. And
No.
let's hope this game isn't as swift. Huh. That's so weird, actually. That's actually so weird.
I'm scared.
I'm thinking, how greedy do I want to be? I'll pass.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna set to pass.
Okay. Normal marauding captain, okay?
In response, I activate royal oppression.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then I would like to attempt to special summon.
No.
Okay. Let me destroy the grave, I guess.
No.
Then we will. Is this dumb? This might be dumb. I'm still doing it. I'll give it the Murasame, and we go 2k.
Yeah, that's even.
Yep. And then we go. Actually, Huh. It's actually interesting.
Hmm?
Uh, yeah, I'll just pass.
Okay. Gonna go standby main. And what creature swap?
Oh, you had it. Yep.
Yep. Give me a second. There we go. Then I'm gonna activate A forces.
Yep.
I'm gonna ram this into the throwstone unit.
Yep.
Yep. And then I'm going to activate Warrior Returning Alive and add throwstone unit back to my hand.
Seems pretty good.
And then I'm gonna set a card. I'm gonna set another card and pass.
That's a lot of cards.
It would be a shame if I had Lightning Vortex. No, wait, that's not the right card. Is Lightning Storm?
Yeah, but I have the one equipped, so I wouldn't be able to use it. I think it's if you don't have cards at all.
It's such a weird card, man.
It is. It is.
I really don't think they should ever print that card. It seems kind of stupid.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, I think.
So what's the plan?
I think we'll throw out this injection fairy lily.
I think that's okay. Yeah.
And then I would like to go battle phase and swing into marauding captain.
Yeah. We'll
damage calculation 2k.
Okay. I lose 1.2k.
Yep.
Yep.
And this is gone. Then we go main 2 and yeah, I'll just pass on that.
Okay, I go standby main and I'll summon Exile Force and I'll sack the Exile Force and get rid of Injection Fairy Lily.
Yep, it's gone.
And then it's your turn.
Thank you. Draw standby main. Ooh, yeah, that's the best possible draw.
Ooh,
Let's go road up.
Yep.
And yeah, you'll never guess what I'm going to get.
You're going to get Marauding Captain, and then you're going to try to exile
Yeah, and
summon
I'll
Exile
forget
Force
about the
Yeah.
oppression. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going.
That's what I'm intending.
I would like to just try to skip a process. Attempt to normal the Exile Force and throw it away to get rid of your monster. And then...
and that's turn?
yeah, I'm thinking, do I want to...
I don't think you want to reveal too much.
It doesn't matter at this point anyway. Because we have...
I'm gonna...
Emergence proficiency here would be scary.
E-provisions?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be kind of spooky, huh? Yeah. I'm gonna set one card and pass.
Alright. You know what? I love that place so much. I think I'll follow suit. I'll just set a pass as well.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna set and pass. There's no fucking, what's it called, dark hole in this? I can be greedy as hell.
What's the punish?
4. Summoning Injection Fairy Lily and getting it sacked into Exile Force? Good question.
Like
or flipping the fiber jar that you have face down right now.
Like I wanna be so greedy. Yeah. You know, I've never been known to be a conservative man. I
nice.
will tribute this dragon dwelling in the cave for a dark ruler Hades.
Go for these nuts! Got him!
And battle phase, and I will swing into this one.
Ah, yes, that is the correct one.
And no injection fairy, please.
I stand by main. I activate emergency provisions. Oh wait, that's not right. But okay, I activate emergency provisions. I gain 1,000 life points.
Yep.
Then
Scary.
I activate A forces.
Jesus
I
Christ.
normal summon, throw stone unit, and I flip face up, throw stone unit, and I sacrifice a warrior monster. Now the question is, how does this work?
Oh, wait, the warrior type monster you gain 200, so both of them are
When
13.
when they're on the field, they both gain 200 for each.
So
right?
they're.
Oh, it's not
wait,
combined.
it's not.
I'm stupid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's still a
yeah,
1300 only.
I'm stupid. I'm stupid. If it's okay, I'll just.
Yeah, go ahead. Obviously, it doesn't matter for the game
I'm
state.
retarded.
That would have been so sick, actually.
That would be. I was wondering, does this work this way? Like, but no.
If it
I'm
worked,
an
that
idiot.
would have been sick.
But yeah, I'll just move this guy back into the center. No, wait, this guy wasn't in the center column. This guy's and then I'll just put this guy back into. Yeah.
Yep.
Sadness.
I'm
Profound
glad both of
sadness.
have tried some like super Hail Mary things that if they worked, they would be so sick.
Yeah, but that doesn't even fucking resolve.
Yeah, but if it did, like that would be actually so sick.
I'm so bummed.
I think at this point the way I lose this is by being greedy, so I'll actually just swing into that and then.
Oh yeah, I need to -5.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot.
My bad.
All good. You
Cut that.
True. Good you noticed. Like I lose to exactly Injection Fairy Lily, or you getting Marauding Captain and Exile Force. But that's like 2 cards, so I think I'm actually sitting pretty here. I'll just pass.
Is that actually what you think you're gonna lose to? Are you forgetting something?
Nope.
Are you forgetting the best removal?
Seems pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna attack with Hades.
Yeah, and I will take.
Hades.
What's this? 14, 15, 50?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Then I activate A forces, and I pass.
Okay.
I wonder why I activated A forces. Clueless.
Just, to make it all the more dramatic when you get something.
When I get Injection Fairy Lily and I ram my Injection Fairy Lily into your Injection Fairy Lily, and my Injection Fairy Lily is stronger than yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Aha. God, I wish Throwstone unit worked in a way where it like calculated all of Throwstone units, not just.
Yeah, true.
I was fucking flipping there.
I think the play is, bro, Improv is gonna give you so much life.
It's 3K.
Yeah, we'll do this. We'll skip a step and normal summon this.
Okay.
Hey, don't be throwing in the grave. I would like it back, actually.
Okay, buddy. I'll
Oops.
just do this and change it over to you, and you can move into attack if you want.
Yeah, I think I would, and then I'll just swing into.
Yeah, this thing has a lot of attack, by the way.
Yeah, it's 1400, so you'd
Oh,
say.
come on. What the fuck did
105? That's an interesting amount.
That was good.
Yeah, and then.
Remember to remove creature swamp. This is a messy episode.
Yeah, this is we're messing up, but I'm glad it's like been a little bit both of us. Oh, right.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah, skipping a turn against a 2450 beater is pretty scary, I will say.
You know how I said I haven't seen a single one of my equips yet?
Yep. I
Well,
I would like to say that I'm pretty happy to see that trend continue. Go ahead. I mean, you're not dead yet, right? Even without EPROB.
Ah, fuck, I set one.
Alright. I guess I could force you to EPROB, but I don't know if it does enough. I'll just swing 2550.
Yeah.
You are a crazy man. Your turn.
How is he this talented, man? Like, oh my fucking god. How does he do it every time? I activate EPROB and I send Royal Prescient to the graveyard. I gave him 1,000 life points. Yep. And then I activate Heart of Clearwater and I activate EPROB and I send 2 of these to the graveyard. I gain 2k from that. And next I
Wait, if the effect is discard destroyed, the monster equipped with discard is not yours. So basically this doesn't matter, you just use it as life gain.
Yeah, in this case, yeah, it doesn't matter. Because it would pop if I put it on injection.
You know what's the sick part? I'm also really talented. That happens to be a spellcaster, so go ahead and put it to defense, baby.
No, why is it not a fairy?
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to declare that I just top decked an exiled force of my marauding captain. I would like to tribute this exiled force, and then, it's a warrior episode. Marauding captain, finish off my opponents.
Next 5.
Holy shit, those were good draws. But bro, your draws this game were ass. Holy shit.
That was unfortunate.
That was so bad.
3 throwstone units in top 10 buttons. So top 8, by the way.
Yeah, this was what I had left here.
I mean, that was a good episode. That was like, what, 50 minutes?
Yeah, that was definitely a very swift one. But yeah, I did like these games. Like, I guess it was partly because like last time we had super grindy games. Although I did like those. If I had to pick, like, I obviously prefer the grindy games. But I guess like the pace being so vastly different was like part of what made it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think in comparison to next week, this was amazingly fun.
Oh yeah.
I didn't draw Freed a single time, by the way. I'm very disappointed.
I played 2 Freed in my side, and I had 2 Hades here, but I never ended up actually siding into Freed. I'll just mill all the stuff. I think I was only running 1 Royal now. Oh wait, I sided into 2. Yeah, I was running. I think I was running 1 the first game, then I had 1 in the side. I ran 0 the second game, and then here I just sided into both.
Can't believe we only got 1 fiber jar, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Although, like, what initially was like the idea, like, it shuffles itself always back, so we might be into some long games. Yeah, Injection Fairy Lily said, like, nope. No to that.
That was a really interesting. That was like playing Suicide Black on both sides.
Yeah.
Which is a MTG deck where you play Hatred and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Where Hatred has the effect of you sack life points or life to gain more attack.
Yeah, gotcha.
And combine that with Death Shadow, so effectively every single life you pay is +2. So it's really good.
That's a big boost.
Yeah, it's really fucking big.
But holy shit, dude. Ready for intercepting.
That was a clutch card.
I did not have it like initially. I had an initial build. I was like pretty happy with it, and then like 2 days ago, I want to say, because like I made one on Friday, And yeah, that was Saturday. Yeah, it was either Thursday or Friday was my initial, and then Saturday I refined it when I was like, let me actually go through the set one more time and look at stuff. And I was like ready for intercepting. I mean, I could like use it to set stuff that's been equipped, like, because I figured like you would probably also be playing warriors, so I was like, I mean, you can set stuff that's been equipped so it's not as big. But then I was like, wait, warriors or spellcaster? Wait, that's actually the one way to deal with Fairy Lily, because like
I didn't actually read Fairy Lily close enough. I was like, oh, it's Injection Fairy Lily. It's a fairy type monster, right? It's an earth fairy.
yeah,
That's kind of weird, but like,
I don't know why it's a
oh,
spellcaster, but thank God it was a spellcaster. I had like I was maining 3 bottomless games 1 and 2, and then I realized like when I was signing for game 3, it's like, what does this actually hit?
nothing. It doesn't hit anything.
Like
Really.
it does, because I was like afraid of stuff like Hades and like other tributes to summon, but then I was like, why am I main decking 3 of this card for these? So I just sided out of all of them.
I'm playing too, and that's specifically because the only way to deal with Hades was
Yeah,
bottomless, and I was like, oh, I kind of really want to deal with Hades before it hits the table, or I need to get an Injection of Fairy Lily out, or an
yeah.
Exiled Force in hand. But alas,
Were you playing this guy,
nope.
Behemoth?
I did not see a reason to play him outside of like maybe getting a Tribute Fodder, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what was my idea. I was like, Marauding Captain can help you like swarm a little bit, but my idea was like 99% of the time I obviously just want another Marauding Captain or Exile Force of that. So most of the time, if it's a Exile Force, it's immediately leaving the field anyway. So I was like, you know what, 1500 beater isn't too bad, and then when it comes back during the end phase, I can sort of like guarantee myself that I have something to tribute for Hades. And another thing was like the only dragons that I was playing were the dragon dwelling in the cave, and I was like, I wasn't main decking any of them. I had 3 in the side, and then I had the 2 stamping destruction in the side, and I figured like, hey, it's also another dragon that gives me another way to make stamping destruction live. I think I sided
Wait,
out of 1 stamping here. No,
I
I
need
played
to
both. Never mind.
need to ask, did we ever use creature swap in a way where we had multiple cards in the field?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure, because I was thinking, did we ever have a situation where we could have just picked something to grief each other? But yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Every time we used creature swap, I'm pretty sure we had like the exact same monsters on the field.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Yeah, like 2 marauding captains on the field and a throwstone unit on the field, and I'm just like, yeah, fucking hell.
But yeah, I definitely didn't realize how crazy Injection Fairy Lila was, because like I was main decking 2 creature swap, and I had a third one on in the side deck, because I was like, I mean, what do I actually want to swap? Because it's like Marauding Captain maybe, and maybe a Injection Fairy Lily, but it's like no, like anything you can swap for Injection Fairy Lily is crazy.
Yeah, and then there's also the part where something like Marauding Captain lets you set up the board instantly to have like 2 units on the board that you can swap for Injection Fairy Lily. Like
Yeah,
Exiled Forces being swapped for Injection Fairy Lily is still a value play because you can just swing on it afterwards.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and then you can warrior turning alive your Exiled Force to get a back deal with Injection Fairy Lily afterwards. It's kind of crazy.
It is. I was definitely like going much more for like a warrior like boosting strat at first, because I was playing 3 Murasame and 3 A forces in the main deck, and I even had 2 of the like, it was the really wacky trap card that gave like 500 boost, and when it was destroyed by a card effect, it pops something. My idea was like, I play
Plastic
2 of
chain.
that and 2 yeah, that one with like emergency provisions, it would be crazy, but yeah, emergency provision sends and doesn't destroy, so
Yeah,
there is
okay.
basically no way to proc it
There
unless you
was
are playing
no
exactly
interaction.
the dragon that wiped my whole back row. But yeah,
Yeah.
never ended up citing into that because I was like, oh yeah, true. Because I don't think I realized it when I was building it, but like now when I went to signing out and I looked into my side and read the card and emergency provisions, I was like, oh yeah, true. Emergency provisions sense. Which does make sense because having just a quick play that gives you advantage for something that pops your own spells, yeah, that would be pretty good.
I feel like that would have made sense for early Yu-Gi-Oh though, right?
Yeah,
Because
and
like it's not like popping your own spells and traps was that beneficial yet.
yeah, like that's. I guess that was what I was sort of thinking about. Because even if you think of like, I don't remember if in the original like Yugi anime, like Yugi ever used that card, but I do remember
Nope.
Jaden used it a lot. And in GX, there happened to be another pretty notorious archetype, Ancient Gear Golem, and this
Yeah.
little card called Gear Town that might want itself popped. It would
Yeah,
have made sense
that's
with that. So yeah, I don't know why
but Gear
they.
Town came really late though, right?
Oh, that could be, but like I guess yeah, like my mind was just thinking of hey, in the anime at the same time existed Ancient Gear Golem and Emergence Provisions, but it might Gear Town is a good card, so it would make sense if it came later.
Duelist Genesis came in, Gear Town came in Duelist Genesis, which is the first set of 5Ds.
Oh
So,
yeah, so it was really late, gotcha.
yeah.
And like I don't know, to me, I don't know if okay, let me actually Google that shit. Like, I wonder, has emergency provisions ever been eroded? Yeah, it's always been sent because that was like what I was thinking of. It's like, it used to be? Okay, so yeah, the first ever version that actually came in Legacy of Darkness could send itself.
Oh,
So that was like the other thing that I was curious about. But yeah, so originally it didn't say other, so I guess that's why it made sense. Because like I was thinking like I'm pretty sure in the anime like Jaden used it too. Like he would always send that and then something else and get 2K. So that's where the idea for me came like, hey, this might be how it works. But apparently it was like the very first version. That was how it worked, and then afterwards it was fixed because obviously it doesn't really make sense if it sends as a cost and it can send itself as a cost to activate itself.
yeah,
It's weird.
because that doesn't really work, especially since when you play it from hand,
Yeah.
you can't really send it. But when you activate it from the field, like you should, because quick play card, it it feels awkward
Yeah,
because you
it's
technically
definitely
should
weird.
be able to. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean, would it be the first time they've cheated in the anime? Because I think I've been recommended multiple times, like moments when Yugi cheated or something like that, and those videos are like 30 minutes long. So it's like, I'm guessing like they don't really, especially like earlier on, they didn't really pay too close attention to the rules.
I attack the moon, or I shoot catapult. I shoot guy at the dragon champion at the castle of dark illusion using catapult turtle to bring
Yeah,
it down and kill you.
there were definitely some interesting things they did in the
And then
anime.
Kaiba created rules once Duelist Kingdom was over.
They're like, you know what? Fuck this shit, bro. We need some construction to this shit. This won't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think like this was still a pretty fun episode because I don't know, something about this like felt a lot different. I'm assuming it's I was initially thinking of playing Spear Dragon. I ended up never including him though, but I
Oh
was
yeah, I
thinking of
put
it.
one in because of the fact that it was such a big beater.
Yeah.
And I figured, oh, I can use this to run over everything that isn't a 2K wall. And that would include stuff like the 1.8K beater, if you would decide how to play him,
Oh yeah,
the
the
normal
Fiend.
master. Yeah.
Yeah. In my first like version of the deck, I had actually I think 2 copies of him in the side. But then when I went through the set again, I was like, you know what? Let me just play actually good cards instead.
Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, this definitely like felt a lot like yeah, whoever just drew bad just got absolutely blasted because
This was really on the draw the whole time.
yeah, because my draws like the first game were really damn good. Your draws the second game were really good, and then third game your draws were ass. What was my the reason why I passed? I was like thinking, what was my opening hand? My opening hand was Marauding Captain, Exile Force, Creature Swap, Murasame, and Warrior Returning Alive. Like that hand is insane. Like what the hell? That was...
I don't even think I had a feature in my head.
Yeah. I mean that's Yu-Gi-Oh for you.
That's Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's every single card game.
Yep, that's also true. Obviously, I just had to have these here.
I didn't put anything in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just like throwing in stuff when it's given to us, just so we can look at it for 2 seconds when I'm doing my deck preview, and then we'll never see them again because most of the time they're awful. Dark Bolter and Ryusenshi are good, but I mean, Spirit Ryu possess Dark Soul. I'd rather not play those cards. So
Super Robo Lady
and Robo Yaro.
Yaro
Dobo. But yeah,
exactly.
Next time we're gonna be jumping into Pharaonic Guardian.
Gravekeepers.
I wonder what we're gonna be playing. It'll be pretty interesting though, because like we can disclose the information. We're probably both playing Gravekeepers, and it's like it'll be interesting to see like, okay, so we know the other person is playing Gravekeepers, so what do we play to like help in the mirror, which will be interesting. But I would be baffled if the games were as quick like next time. Like
it's gonna be 60 card Gravekeeper with 3 Royal Tributes.
Like I'll be honest, when you said like when we were talking beforehand about the next set a little bit as well, and you're like we're talking about 60 card. I am not opposed to the idea of playing like probably not 60 cards, but like more than 40 cards maybe
is in there. Like you have such a way of speeding through the deck. Because there's no good spell trap removal, if I remember correctly, other than Raigeki Break.
Yeah, and if you're using Raigeki Break on the back row, how are you punching through like 250?
The 2K walls.
Yeah, 2,500 or even 3K. Because I think if we both have Necro Valleys, they stack, right? They just give.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you beating over a 3K spy in defense, just sitting in defense? Like, you're not beating over that shit.
You're not. And like, I don't think there was a single Gravekeeper with more than 2,000 attack. So you're like, straight up, your only play is to have like Gravekeeper's Assailant, swing, change the card into attack position, and then swing over. But even then, I think it's hard.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we end up dealing with this stuff next time for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But hey, thank you for joining us for this episode of Sword Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and as always, we hope to see you next time. And if the next episode is 3 hours long, don't be surprised, because it very much I'm losing.
May well be.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for fixing that for me. But yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.